India versus England second test match begins at Lord's. We are going to talk all about it here at Timeout with Sports Adda. Hello Arun. I wanted to start off by saying that second test match is going to start at the home of English cricket. That's what Sunny Gavaskar told us in commentary. It's a home of England cricket.
It's not the home of cricket, is it? It's the home of English cricket.
That's what Sunny Gavaskar told us. So we'll go with that. Big test match. Both the teams coming off after. I think India would have been the unhappier side after the first test match. Good opportunity there to go up one up in the series. But Lords has always been a special test match for all cricketers and for us cricket fans, right? To just watch in, and I hope we get 5 days here.
The good news, Akhil, you brought it up straight up front, is I looked at the weather forecast and it's sunny. It's actually warm. It's warm in London for the next 5 days. The temperature will hover around 21, 23, 24 midday. So that's
Nice.
going to be interesting. What effect will that weather have on the pitch? We've heard a lot about England bringing in Moeen Ali. I don't know if it's because they're expecting the conditions to be dry. We're also hearing that India might push Shardul Thakur because of an injury, and therefore Ashwin could come in. So, the weather brings in a bit of, a bit of masala there. And then the injury to Shardul Thakur in Stuttgart, which we'll talk about in due course. But fascinating test match in store.
Yeah, this is what I love about like longer test series, 3, 4, 5 match test series in different conditions. This is what I missed about when the cricket was happening at one venue in a bubble when players. The beauty of test cricket is that you get to experience different pitches. The captain has to think about what the strategy should be according to conditions. Should I play a pace bowler? Should I have an all-rounder in? This is the beauty, and I'm so glad to see that we're back to cricket where the cricketers can travel to various venues, experience those different conditions. So absolutely, what stats do you have today to share with us for Lords? Come on, that's something that we are very
First up,
keen for.
we've got to talk, when we talk about Lords, the first number we've got to talk about is the fact that it's hosted more test matches than any other venue. 140 test matches. So this is like almost, a test match a year. If you look at test history, obviously there have been years where there's no test cricket. So there have been years where the Lords has hosted more than one test match. But fascinating. Just the fact that it's
Yeah.
hosted 140 test matches.
Absolutely amazing history there. Like everybody, I think the biggest of the big have played there, and there's always a very nice vibe, when players play. So that is a fascinating number. Everybody wants to be a part of history, right?
And the viewing experience, Akhil, whether you're at the venue, whether you're working at the venue, whether you're watching it on television, there's a certain viewing experience to the cricket, test match cricket at Lords, and that's another thing I love about the venue. There's so many small things, members coming in with that bacon and egg tie, the seated, in the long room, clapping the
Cap.
players out on the way. Yeah, beautiful. And then there's the slope at Lords. There are small things that you notice. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I mean, at one point of time, I know the Australians used to really love going and playing at Lords because they used to just go and win there all the times. And I've read about stories about each of them having a specific corner at Lords that they used to go and sit at. And McGrath always used to like bowling there. So all those memories have stayed. Now it's the same kind of appreciation that the Indian team gets. I'm sure when Virat Kohli walks into bat tomorrow, or whenever they bat, it's going to be fascinating for them also because they've always liked that the greatest batsmen get the best reception there. So that is going to be a sight for me to look forward to.
Absolutely. The members cheering the batsmen out. Just the appreciation of good cricket is something you should look forward to when you're at Lords. I tell you what else I'm looking forward to. We've got to look at India's results in the last. It hasn't been a kind venue in many ways, but if you look at the last 6 results for India at Lords, there's a lost one, lost draw. So going back in time, there's been a favorable result every alternate test. And the last time we visited, we lost by an innings in 159, partly due to poor selection, partly due to condition. But I'm expecting if the trend continues, we'll have a positive result for us this time.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what has happened, Arun. Last time we got unlucky, and you're right about the selection. We lost the toss. It wasn't easy to bat when we batted last time. I think most teams would have folded out the way that India did. So we can't take too much out of the loss that happened. I think what will also happen is the conditions you mentioned are sunny, but I'm sure the English management is going to have a long chat with the groundsman and encourage them to keep a lot more grass in. Especially, they will need a lot more support. Like even the first test match, I think there was a lot of grass left on the wicket to help the English baseman. Anderson got wickets. Robinson got wickets. So they will want even more grass. So I think now it's favorable for India also if you keep a lot of grass. One more important thing, again, I wanted to talk to you about and see what are your thoughts, Arun, is Lords. We've seen a lot of matches that India has played in the last 10 or 12 test matches. Uh, the outfields have not always helped run scoring. The boundaries have not, it's not been easy to hit boundaries. Either there's been rain or there's been a lot of lush outfield. So run scoring in boundaries has always been difficult, and that is what the Indian batsmen always enjoy. That's not the case at Lords. The ball really races off the outfield. If the pitch is nice, then you just have to time it for the ball to reach. So I'm now expecting the one of the Indian batsmen to make the most of it here.
We can't wait for 100, can we? The Indian corporate world, the sports marketing world is waiting for a Virat Kohli 100. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
I think the 100's not too far. We could get 100 at Lords. It's not too far. It's not too impractical to expect 100. Beautiful condition, like I said. If the sun's out, the question is, do England bring in Moeen Ali? Does India bring in Ashwin? If it's as warm as we're reading it will be, I think that's a straightforward selection.
What about England's record though at Lords?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, these are factors we're looking at from an Indian perspective. England have lost a lot of test matches at Lords, Akhil. They've lost nearly as much as they've won. So they've won 8, but this is since 2012. They've won 8, drawn 4, lost 5. So England are beatable at Lords. And this is the kind of belief India needs to go in. I mean, these are 1%ers that will lift you when things are not going your way. You look at the results and say, okay, every alternate time India has won or done well. So, things you look for, small things you look for that will lift your confidence. So, England are beatable at Lords. And this England side
that's a very good point. Absolutely. I mean, like you mentioned, it's going to be a tricky one for them in terms of selection also. You mentioned about Stuart Broad not being there, Moeen Ali being drafted. But Moeen Ali obviously has been a huge impact around last 2 series that India has played in England. He's caused a huge impact with his off spin. But at Lords, do you think like a spinner at Lords for England, is that numerically, is that helpful?
No, that's the quandary that team management will be looking to address. The numbers historically are completely swayed in favor of fast bowlers, Akhil. I've just looked at the last, 3-4 test matches. Astonishing the number of wickets pacers have picked up and the number of wickets spinners have picked up. Look at that. Since 2018, 1,040 overs of pace bowling against 209 overs of spin and 11 wickets only by spinners. So if you're looking at this number, then you're thinking, then why are we talking about Ashwin and Moeen Ali right now? Right?
Yeah.
I'll go a bit in detail into these numbers, Akhil. If you look at the number of overs bowled by spin in each of those last few test matches, right?
Yeah.
You will see there's very little luck, except for that one Ashes test, right? When Jack Leach picked up lower order wickets, when Nathan Lyon picked up lower order wickets, there's very little else. Spinners have had virtually nothing. I mean, you can if you count tail end wickets, then it gives you 11 wickets. But otherwise, top order quality wickets, very little. So I'm wondering why are we talking about Ashwin, Moeen Ali? It's only possibly because of the weather.
Interesting. I mean, there is a fact always that great spinners will pick you wickets wherever. But if you're not going to get the opportunity to bowl, then it's going to be difficult, right? Like if it's a sunny condition and your pacers are tired, then obviously the captain will want to have one more medium pace option just to keep the runs down or rest the. So it's a very tricky one for the captain. You're spot on. What do you think? Is there any replacement that can happen for somebody like a Stuart Broad, for example? I mean, where will you find 600 Test wickets,
No,
500
no,
Test
no.
wickets?
No, look, what also happened, Akhil, is Lords presents a challenge because of its condition, the breeze and the slope, right? And you need to get used to bowling there. And Stuart Broad is somebody who's had phenomenal success. He's not been successful at other venues in Test cricket generally in recent years. He's bowled well, yes, but he's not picked up a lot of wickets. But Lords presents a challenge because of the slope. And here we're talking about Anderson, over 100 wickets at Lords. Nobody's picked up more, no pacer, I should say, has picked up more wickets at one venue than Anderson's
Oh wow,
picked up at Lords.
that's a nice stat.
Yeah, and then there's second in the list is Stuart Broad, 95 wickets at Lords, approaching a milestone, but he's going to be missed. Uh, these are the numbers. So Anderson at Lords, 105 wickets,
Wow.
Broad at Lords, 95 wickets. Phenomenal returns. I mean, phenomenal returns. So they're obviously used to the condition. That's something that England will miss. England are talking about bringing in Mark Wood. Uh, Good replacement, quality replacement, but I don't think he will be as potent as Stuart Broad. Mark Wood's the kind of like a workhorse. He'll keep running in, he'll keep bowling in the short stuff. He will make batsmen uncomfortable at the crease, but will he get wickets? I don't know.
Very interesting. I mean, Joe Root is already worried about his batsman not scoring enough runs. He has another quandary now to select a bowler who can replace such a huge bowler. I think they will play Moeen Ali and they'll play batsman less. Moeen Ali will get them those runs that one batsman can, and I think they'll play Mark Wood instead of Broad.
Hopefully, Akhil, you're only hoping. As an England captain would be hoping. You never know. The quality of this England batting lineup is shocking. Absolutely shocking. There's also some murmurs about England replacing one of the openers. Haseeb Hamid could come in as one of the openers. We don't know, but if that happens, what a change of fortune for the young lad.
Absolutely spot on. Everyone was very impressed when he had last scored. Remember, he looked like a very compact batsman. Looked like he was going to play for long.
He was quality. Compact quality. Yeah.
So in a way, it's good for him to have made a comeback, and now if he gets an opportunity, it's going to be exciting for him. I mean, that's something that Test cricket is beautiful, right? It offers you opportunity, and a young guy has now come back. He's shown form, so good for him.
We've got to talk about the one important character in the England lineup. How good is Joe Root? We've spoken about him so much in the last week, 10 days. Again, the man stands apart from the rest of the lineup, rest of the world in the last 12 months. I mean, we talk about the Fab 4, Fab 5. Look at this list. Most runs in the last 12 months. Joe Root, about 400 runs, 404 runs above more than anybody else, right?
Wow.
Kane Williamson, my other favorite, average is 108, but that's because of a couple of not outs. But look at that conversion, Akhil, the last column. 400s and 150 in the last year.
And those hundreds have come away, Arun. Like 4 out of those 400s, 2 have come in Sri Lanka. 1 has come in India, which have always been conditions very difficult for English batsmen to conquer. Rest of the batsmen have played, I think, cricket at home since 2020. Williamson, I think, out of the 5 Test matches, he's played 4 at home. The rest of the batsmen again seem to have played. Usually, they've played a lot of cricket at home. But hats off to Joe Root. He's conquered the conditions, tough conditions. I read a stat somewhere, Arun. He is inching slowly towards a coveted record of Yusuf Yohana's most runs in a Test match in a year in Test match cricket. He's within a striking distance of that, isn't he?
Yeah. And they've got so many Test matches this year. I think so many Test matches. They've got 4 more against India. Then they play one more, at least one more in the Ashes, right? 1 or 2 more in the Ashes. They
this
play
year,
Brisbane, they
yes.
play Boxing Day. So possibly two or three more in India. Actually, maybe four more in the Ashes, isn't it? Leave out the new three more in the
Melbourne is
Ashes. Leave out
Boxing
the
Day,
New
yeah.
Year's Test. They could be playing three or four more, potentially three, four
He's
more
got
in
six,
the Ashes.
seven test matches. He could easily get up to
Oof.
over 2,000 runs.
Yeah, that's a lot of run. But quality player, and he's going to be the one bowlers need to get out in a hurry.
Absolutely. Any other stats about the Indian batsmen that you have that we should be talking about? Anyone specific that you said that we should look after?
The two players I want to fire, Akhil. One is Virat Kohli. I mentioned this earlier. The Indian sports marketing world is waiting for that elusive 100, right? The last couple of times he's visited Lords, returns haven't been great. I looked at his scores in the last two Test matches at Lords. It hasn't crossed 20s, Akhil. There's something about Lords. That's the other peculiar thing about Lords. The great batsmen can't seem to get runs, can they? We always talk about this.
Yes, we've spoken about obviously Tendulkar and Gavaskar not managing to get the Test hundreds at Lords. But very, very important. I was watching one innings last week, Arun, where Rahul Dravid, if you see, he scored a 95 on the first game that he played, and then he ended with 100 in the last game that he played. So he's one Indian batsman who's managed to conquer the conditions again at Lords. So I would say at least one great batsman has shown he scored runs. And if you've seen the list of people who've scored hundreds, Indians who've scored hundreds at Lords, it's a very peculiar list, isn't it? Obviously, Dilip Vengsarkar has got those 300s. Then it's 3 at Lords. Then it's Ravi Shastri, Mohammad Azharuddin, Saurav Ganguly. Then obviously you go back for a while. There was no 100 at Lords. Then there was
Vinu Mankad got 100.
Yes, Vinu Mankad got 100 in the sixth.
GR Vishwanath got 100.
Oh, this one I wasn't aware. GR Vishwanath at Lords.
Yeah, one of my favorites. I'll give you another name. Ajit Agarkar got 100. Lords 100.
Special one, yes. And I'm sure the broadcaster is going to ask him a lot of questions about Lords today. I think there will be a dedicated section for 1 hour about Ajit Agarkar.
Let's not get there. Let's move on. Let's move on.
There is one more Indian batsman who scored 100. He's playing this test match. I hope he doesn't get himself run out again. And he at least gets off to a start. 30-40 runs once he gets there. Ajinkya Rahane is obviously a threat. This outfield and the pitch, if it's nice, will suit him. If it's an attacking field, he likes to get his boundaries, and I think this will be perfect batting conditions for somebody like him.
Rahane is going to be crucial, and Rahane, I hope, is feeling the good vibes of playing at Lords. He scored 100, obviously. And it's critical, Akhil, that Rahane does well, Ajinkya does well, because he gives you those important hundreds. Yeah. If I recall correctly, India still haven't lost a test match when he scored 100.
Yeah.
When he gets 100, it's normally a favourable result. Maybe a few draws in there, but Ajinkya needs to get. Last couple of overseas too, he got 100, right? He got 100 in the West Indies, got 100 in Australia. The one defining 100 in Australia.
Yes, you're right. He's got hundreds in 2 of the 3 overseas series that India has played. He's got 4 more test matches, hopefully 8 innings. He should make one count definitely.
If it's good, beautiful, sunny weather, expect the Indian batsmen to come into the party. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ajinkya Rahane could expect more than 100, Akhil.
Oh, that will be nice. A long partnership at Lords hasn't happened for India for a while. So that is a beauty. We'd love it, yeah. We'd want to watch them bat for at least 1.5 days, enjoy the conditions there and make the most of it. Anyway, so you're calling India for this test match then, Arun? 1-0 for India if all the 5 days hold.
Yeah, if it's sunny, as we're expecting it to be, I think India.
India for me also.
Let me add, if that happens, I'll maintain this. If India take a lead, India win the series.
That's good news for us cricket fans. We'll talk more about the test match and how the series progresses here at Time Out with Sports Adla. As usual, it's fun talking cricket, Arun. We'll be back here for more of this.